Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay and we are so thankful you're joining us wherever you may be, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, anywhere. I don't know. We don't know where this show is going to grow to. So thank you for joining us on it. My name's Lindsay again and my co-host Nick. We get to talk about some fun things. And if you haven't joined us this week, we have had a ton of relationships on. So yeah, Nick, do you want to?
I was
don't
waiting.
know where I was waiting for that.
Well, you kept rolling with it. I was going to let you do it.
Yeah.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Nick. Thank you for joining us here on the Coffee and Cookies morning show. This week, if you've been watching the episodes this week, we have had a power couple come in
every
day and just drop gold, like totally drop gold. And today we're going to recap it, okay? And if you see me looking off the screen for a little bit, I have notes. I have PowerPoint pages of notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight some different things that we learned from each couple.
Well, why are we doing that? Why are we doing this debrief recap?
Well, okay, so just FYI. So in my world, it's plan, brief, execute, debrief, right?
What's your world?
My world. Work,
what we
home,
create, right?
Work, my world, and it's taught by James Murphy, and from the book Flawless Execution. It's what they teach to aviators who
are in Top Gun.
You really wanted to say that fast, didn't you?
Top Gun.
It's in Top Gun. Yes, absolutely. So today we're going to debrief each of these episodes, and we're going to pull out those golden nuggets and share it with you today.
But here's the thing. These are our golden nuggets that we took away. And
you need to know what they are.
But where I was going with that is that you need to go back and watch these episodes because you might take away different golden nuggets.
Probably not.
From where you're at in your life. Yes, Nick, not everybody is at wherever we're at on our life journey.
We were actually talking about it before the show. So before the show, we were talking about how being a visionary or an integrator within your household can be influenced by the people that you're around.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. And we're not going to go down that road today. I'm just letting you know that we had the conversation because let's get started because we only have 30 minutes and we have four couples to make sure that we talk about.
That's less than 10 minutes a couple.
And I'm going to go through and I'm going to summarize it first and then we're going to deep dive in, okay? So
I got lots of coffee today.
Oh my gosh.
To go through.
It is Friday coffee day. TGIF. It's Friday coffee day.
We
didn't bring the cookies.
Boost.
Oh my goodness. You want to know what?
The next time we have guests, I'm going to make my Rolo cookies. I've already decided it in my head.
I think you just need to make like 15 batches of them and just put them in the freezer.
I know. I wonder if they'd freeze well.
I know they would. I know they would.
Tried it.
And then you could eat them frozen. Oh my goodness.
That would probably be amazing.
I just got my taste buds just went, yes. All right. So Monday we started with the Blacks. Okay. Brad and Heidi Black. And for them, the big takeaway, the overarching takeaway was they saw the best in people.
Okay.
Okay. You see the best in people. Tuesday, we had the Gonzalezes. And the Gonzalezes really talked about, this is David and Crystal Gonzalez, they talked about defining the roles within the household. And I took that a step further in defining the roles within the workplace. Okay. The Glorias brought the love. They talked a lot about love. And then the Lopezes, they brought the structure. Okay. So these are all very high level. Those were the high level intros. And we're going to start with the Blacks. We're going to go through every day and we're going to talk about this for a little bit. So the Blacks, seeing the best in people, and specifically not seeing the person where they are in their situation, but seeing where they can be in their potential.
That's what I said, by the way. Nick just wanted to say that so I wouldn't have a good thing to say. Yeah. No.
I was pretty sure we talked about the best in people, and you saw what Lindsay did? Goodness gracious, people!
I learned a lot from them, but I haven't ingrained it in my brain
You haven't
yet.
implemented it. Rosalie said she's going to make some cookies.
Yes. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure they're
Right, we're
amazing
in.
because
We're in.
Rosalie's like.
Oh, and
an
now Sean's going to
amazing
bring
cook.
cookies too. You want to know what? We're going to have to get a bigger office just so I have a fridge with all these cookies. Yes, I'm
I
liking
like this idea.
Okay, so seeing the best in people. All right. I actually made this mistake this morning with my daughter, London. I saw her where she was, not making good decisions, and I disciplined her in that situation instead of making sure that I removed her from it and saying she was making bad decisions and then going, okay, let's make good decisions and moving her forward. I actually made this mistake this morning and I'm calling myself out on it. And I didn't yell, I didn't raise my voice or anything like that, but I spoke those words, right? And I actually, right before we got on the show with all of you, I actually FaceTimed my daughter and I apologized because I made the mistake.
Do you want a sticker?
It's not that I want a sticker, but as a parent, I want you to know it's good to apologize. If you make a mistake with your child, it's good to apologize. And I changed my terminology with her and I spoke the greatness over her like I should be doing. I should not see her where she was this morning, but the potential that she has.
Right.
And of course, now she's being a great little girl leading the household with Amber this morning. So, you know.
Yeah. That really spoke to me because I have situations in my life that are challenging right now. My mother-in-law lives with us and it's created a new dynamic in our household and different stress levels and different figuring things out. And cause you're adding a new adult into your family dynamic. And this kind of leads into the Gonzalez's, like defining those roles and figuring out how everybody contributes and being excellent in that.
But let's stay here. Stay here
with that. Like it's challenging for me with my kids, with my husband, with it's the whole household. My mother-in-law. It's challenging for me to step outside of myself and see past whatever I'm in because I'm an emotional, I was going to say I'm an emotional wreck sometimes. Yeah.
We all are.
And
everyone,
I have those
maybe not
moments
Brad. Brad is very steadfast.
He got emotional on our show. If you have not seen Brad get emotional, you need to go watch it because it was moving.
It was moving, but Brad is very steadfast. And I think his discipline is why he's able to not get emotion in the moment, but why he's able to see the best potential, right? And I think that's something that, and this is a skill that you can develop, right? It's not saying, oh, Brad is wired this way, therefore only he can be this way. No, it was probably easier for him to develop this skill because of how he's wired. Yeah. But this is something that you can develop as a skill.
So I've actually been working on my self-discipline, and one way I'm doing that is taking ice baths. And they're stinking cold.
You are so funny.
I know. And I hate the cold. So I'm
Even being from
purposely
Michigan,
putting myself into a situation that I hate. And I'm doing it at least twice a week right now. And it's every time I've done it, like I've shared with Nick, and he's like, oh, well, you know why your body like locks up? Because have you ever been in a frozen lake or anything? Your body it either tends to lock up, or I don't even know what's the other one.
Or you have to control it.
Or you have to control it. So it's a fight or flight thing. And I'm like, yes. Oh, I didn't realize that. So he's like, yeah, you got to make sure you're moving your body and make sure, so I'm like, okay, well, I got in the second time and I was moving my legs and, kind of like dancing and it was better. And then the next time I was able to get into my neck. And I was controlling my body and I wasn't shivering and I wasn't like locked up at all. And so it's just getting better and better, but it's that putting myself in a situation that I'm not enjoying and controlling myself through it.
There you go.
It's been a challenge.
There you go.
It's been challenging.
So going back to the blacks,
yes.
Seeing the best in people and having the discipline to
do it.
To do that. Exactly. To not get emotional, to see the best in that individual and then help them identify it and work to that Get them identify it, get them on board so they can see their potential
Yes.
and work towards it.
Yes.
So that was the
So
Blacks.
good. So good.
The Gonzalez's. That episode,
They shared a lot of their story.
they did share a lot of the story, but definitely about the dynamics of it, right? She's a stay-at-home mom. He is working a job and he's starting a new brand, right? And defining the household roles, that dynamic, because she did have a career before being a stay-at-home mom, and then understanding how to work with excellence within that role.
Right.
And let's make sure that we define this real quick. A stay-at-home mom works just as hard, if not harder.
Or a stay-at-home dad.
Or a stay-at-home dad. Thank you for that. Thank you. Stay-at-home parent
Yep.
works just as hard or harder than someone who gets to leave and go to work every day. And it's a change because you get a change of scenery, right?
Yep.
Now, are there different stressors in each situation?
Could even say, I work at home. I don't get a change of scenery. I'm at home too. But your stressors are different.
Correct.
You're focused on different things.
Correct.
You're changing your mental environment. It's not just a physical environment. It's also mental.
Very much so. So, but whether you're in the household or whether you're in the work environment, make sure to bring your excellence. Make sure to bring your transparency. Make sure to bring your greatness. And that's really what we got from them. One, bring your greatness and excellence, but make sure you've defined those roles. Okay. Make sure you understand who's a visionary, who's an integrator.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The other thing that I learned from them is that, they were sharing how they got to elevate life, and they were going to a different church and things like that. And leadership can come from anywhere in the household. That's not what it wasn't said, but I heard it. Like, that's what I took away from it of, he had to listen to his daughters and say, what church are we going to? Oh, we're going to the Spanish church or the English church, and watching how they would react or respond to, oh, we're going to the Spanish church. Oh, we're going to the English church. Yay. Like,
right.
That's a form of leadership that your family is communicating to you. Are you listening for it?
There you go. Right. Amber, so true. So true. But that's leadership. Leadership is not always saying it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Leadership is listening. Who has God put you in charge of? Who has God brought into your sphere of influence? And you're actually listening to them, right? But now, you as a leader, are you responsible for actually making the final decision? Yes, but you need to be listening to the people that God put in your life to make sure that you're leading correctly. Because if not, if he had not listened to his daughters, if he had not listened to his wife, they never would have wound up at Elevate.
Right.
Which means he never would have been on this show. Which means he never would be impacting the families that he's impacting. Which means he never would have gotten within Pastor Keith's sphere of influence and be growing himself.
He might have never met his business partner to grow his new brand.
Ooh, mic drop. All right, next.
All about alignment.
There you go, right? So the next couple we have is the Glorias. And you want to know what? Everyone that you talk to says, oh, the Glorias, I love them.
I love them.
I love the Glorias, right?
Yes.
And they are not being sarcastic.
No.
That is the most loving family. And that's it, right? The Glorias bring the love. They bring the love. And
not that it's a competition, but
no, it's not.
Even just looking at the comments from each
Right.
show to the next, the Glorias have over 120 comments on our show. The others were like,
they're still up there, though.
They're in the high
they're
double
still
digits,
up there.
but
Exactly.
it's still like, look at all the love that poured in for them.
Exactly.
Because they love those people.
They do. I mean, I got a text message from Ricardo after the show. Right? Like, they're so good about here we go. About intentionally loving. Okay? When Ricardo talks about how he has grown his couple's ministry on Wednesday nights, it's because he intentionally loves them.
Yes.
Right? It's not you show up on Wednesday, I love you, or you show up on Sunday, I love you.
Right.
They love on their people throughout the week.
I don't love you when you're in my sphere. I love you all the time. Like when you're in my radius.
Right. Well,
I love you all the time.
They are within his radius, though. They are within his sphere.
Because he's intentional.
And that's it.
Because he makes a point to bring them in every week. Whether like when I say that is like, oh, I see you, I can love on you. If I don't see you, you're out of sight, out of mind.
There you go.
But with them, it's no, I see you whether you're in front of me or not. And I'm going to love you.
And that, here we go. The reason why it's so impactful is because that takes energy.
It does.
That takes discipline.
It does.
You know, I mean, we sit here and we say, oh, it's so easy to send a text message. Really? I have a question for you. The top 5 people in your life. When was the last? Oh, Bob, I'm about to call a lot of people out on this. Okay,
including me.
The top 5 people in your life. When was the last time you sent them a text message going, "Hey, you want to know what? I just want you to know I love you, and I wish the best for you," or some form of conversation. Like, I'm not just calling you out; I'm calling myself out.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Glorias bring the love, the intentional love.
I think we all have those moments. I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure if you do, but I do, and those moments where you like, oh, I'm thinking about this person. You're thinking about them for a reason. Pick up the phone and call them and just say, hey, I just wanted to say that I love you and I was thinking about you and I hope you're doing well.
That literally happened with 3 people 2 days back. I got text messages and I was like, huh, that's so weird. Like, I was thinking about them as well, but I didn't take that first step. They took the first step. And then of course we have the Glorias on. I'm like, oh man.
You're supposed to learn a lesson here, Nick? Yes, absolutely. God will set you up. God will set you up to teach you lessons. Yes.
I got to write that down. So Angelina, write that down, please. Okay.
And text it to him.
Yes. God will set you up to teach you lessons to move you forward.
Yeah.
You're like, why did this happen? Why this or why that? I'm going off on a tangent real quick and we're going to bring it right back. But know this, okay? God will set you up to teach you lessons because he needs to better you. He needs to refine you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he's preparing you for your next greater thing that he needs you to do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which brings the heavy one. You ready? Thank you, Angelina. I appreciate you. Okay. The Lopez's. Okay. The Lopez's brought the structure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here we go. You ready for this? As a visionary, I want to love. As a visionary, I want to define roles. As a visionary, I want to see the best in people. But as a visionary, I struggle with structure. And I will tell you right now, getting in the presence of that man, okay, and having him go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm like, I need more of this. I need more of this. I need more. And the reason why I need more is because I'm a visionary and that is my weakness. I'm letting you know my weakness is the structure. Okay. Yeah. That is why I have people like Lindsay in my life. Thank God I have Amber.
And
okay.
That's why I have a Dustin because he's even more structured than me.
He is. He is. You know, but he brings the structure. And if you watch that dynamic, you'll actually see that Gina is the visionary and he is the integrator. Okay. Now we've talked about this a lot of times. It's the male who's the visionary and the female who's the integrator.
I think that's an assumption people make. Sure.
Absolutely. Maybe. We should actually do a poll on this. I would love to get data on this, right? So in their relationship, Gina, if you watch that, but she said, I talked about vision boards. And it wasn't until Ernie said, we're doing a vision board, did it actually just take place and line up, and bam, 5 years later, they look back and go, that moment is where our lives changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
what you don't know.
So one, we have an extra episode from them because he was stuck here with us for 3 hours. So we got him we got an extra episode with him. But and we're gonna go into that. That one's all about intentional tithing. Okay. But while I was working,
planting the seed,
intentional tithing. Sure. You say planting the seed. I'll say intentional tithing.
Here's the thing.
We're almost at, hold on. We're going to come back to that. I want to talk about your lunch meeting, because when Lindsay started talking about the lunch meeting she had with Ernesto, I started typing notes.
A whole page of notes.
I have a whole page of notes, and this is from what Ernesto told Lindsay. So I'm not even getting that first person, but I was like, oh my goodness. And I got so called out on this. I didn't even realize it.
Me
Lindsay
too.
got called. Amber, if you're watching this, sweetheart, I know I said I was going to work till like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock today. I'm not. I'm going to come home when Lindsay comes home, and Dustin does not need to pick me up because you know what? Here we go, right? I can do this backwards today, or I could take exactly what you just taught me
And implement it.
Now.
Yeah.
And we're going to implement it now.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, Ernesto and I we were sitting down in the lobby downstairs eating our lunch, and he was just like, asking me questions and, what do you have questions about? And I'm like, oh man, open the door because here comes the floodgate of questions. So I was asking him about all these things, and he was elaborating on what he had talked about. So the things that we didn't get to talk about was priorities. So their vision actually leads into what their priorities are set.
You better be writing this down right now because that's what I did.
Yeah. So they have a monthly meeting as a family. So they set their vision together as a family, and then every month they have a meeting that recaps. So in that meeting, they review their vision board and they say, okay, have we made any progress towards reaching these visions, to reaching these goals that we've set? If not, what can we do differently? If not, did we learn, like, maybe I don't really want to do this. Maybe this isn't really part of that vision that needs to be here right now. Maybe this isn't the right timing for this. So they make adjustments if needed, right? And I don't know if they said this on the show or afterwards, but they have a word on each person's board. Each person picks a word for themselves.
That was off camera.
Okay, so each person picks a word for themselves of something that they're working towards. So, with Gina, it was being intentional with other relationships, growing her relationships outside of her family. Mm-hmm. And like hers, it's a phrase. But anyway, so they have this recap of, are they working towards these visions?
Are they working towards it?
Yep.
What adjustments need to be made? Mm-hmm. Do I even want this
notes.
anymore? Do I even want this anymore? Right? So what they're doing is they're recapping, they're debriefing, and then they make a plan for the next month.
Yes. So this is where I really got called out.
Right?
And I
think
a lot of people do this backwards.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing
I'm doing it wrong. Amber, I'm so sorry. I've done this wrong.
Yes.
For 40 years, I've done this wrong.
Yes.
Oh.
And it's so funny because we're like, the commandments, put God first, like honor God, right? We do that. I go to church on Sunday. I serve. I, read my Bible. I pray. I do those things. But do I?
Oh, gosh.
But do I? Because when they do their calendar, so he's like, we all put it in, we sit down and we're adding things into our calendar. The first thing we do is plan our personal times with God. And we put it in the calendar.
It's in the calendar. It's not I'm going to wake up in the morning and think I might do this, or I'm going to do this before I go to bed. No, it's in the calendar. It is a booked time slot for God.
Yep. So they do that. And then the next thing they add to this calendar are spouse dates.
Spouse dates.
So
God, then family.
God, then spouse.
Oh, God, sorry. Yes. So sorry.
Then family. So after they book in their times to have date nights, to do lunches, to have reconnecting time. So they reconnect every day and they put that in the calendar of, even if it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, it goes in the calendar of just, I'm intentionally spending time with this person to reconnect with them throughout the day. And then they have special dates with their kids. So each kid gets their name on the calendar. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
They get their name on the calendar and you can start teaching them, and it helps them make them feel important in your life. Like, you are a priority in my life. See, I've blocked time off for you because I love you and I want to spend time with you. It's that it's taking what the Gloria said about being intentional and putting it into action of like, I'm spending time with you. Ernesto shared a story. He took his son to the movies and it was just him and his son, and he's like, whatever you want tonight. Like, it's
there you
just
go. It's about you
and me and spending time together. And he's like, it was one of the best date nights with my son that I've ever had. And it was just fun. I gotta look at my notes because I lost my train of thought.
You're good. And then fourth is work.
So once you have all of that filled in, then you fit work in where you can.
Okay, now, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? When I called Ernesto to invite him to be on the show, the first thing he said was, I need to look at my calendar.
Yeah.
That was the first thing out of his mouth. And the reason why was because he has his priorities correct. A lot of people say this. Mm-hmm. Very few intentionally do this. Like, I looked at this and I said, oh my goodness, I've been living this backwards. Okay. And not just kind of backwards, like fully backwards.
Like when I make my calendar, I'm like, well, I'm at work from Monday to Friday, from this time to this time. What can I fit around that?
Exactly. Now,
yeah.
Now, they've only been doing this for how long?
If I remember correctly, he said they've only been doing it like this for a year.
And what has happened? Just getting their priorities in order. What has happened?
Their business has exponentially grown.
Because, and you can call it God, you can call it priorities, you can call it intention. Mm-hmm. But if you look at what's going on, they've taken their world, and instead of letting the world create and define and control them, they're twisting it now, right? No, you're going to get on my schedule, world.
Yep.
You're going to stop right there. One, my time with God.
Is this a priority?
Two, and that was it, right? Yeah. And then two, my wife, is it going to cut into that time? No. Is it going to cut into my kids' time? No. Is it going to cut into my work time? Me being on your show is part of work. Therefore, that fits right in that time slot. Mm-hmm. This is the way my world operates now. Now, you ready for this? I've read this so many times now, just this morning. The Blacks seeing the best in people. The Gonzalez's defining roles. The Gloria's bringing the love. And the Lopez's creating the structure. Who does this sound like? If you put all four of those together, who is that? And if you don't know, I'll just tell you.
I was going to say Jesus, but...
No, that's Pastor Keith. That is Pastor Keith.
Yeah.
Like, if you take each and every one of these four pieces... and you go look at the pastor of Elevate Life Church, that is him. Mm-hmm. And understand, like, what all we're doing is highlighting one thing from these couples. I'm sure these couples have a variation of a lot of this, right?
Right.
But I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, I have so much more room to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this. So they've been doing this for 1 year. Yeah. 1 year. And as their business has exploded, okay? Now, let's talk about the Sabbath. So here we go. Ready? The reason why we're doing this, I know, right? Oh, Amber got it. Amber got Pastor Keith even before I said it. And Angelina said Jesus. Oh, that's hilarious. That's greatness. Okay, now here we go. The reason why we're staying on the Lopez's is I'm a visionary. Okay. And I love the other three, but this is the one that hit my soul the hardest. This is the one where I said, I'm failing here as a leader of my own household, as a leader of my business. This is what I need to help move not just my family, but the business forward. Okay.
So welcome to Therapy with Nick.
Okay. So let Amber and I, sweetheart, please listen to this piece. Okay. The Sabbath. Mm-hmm. Talk about this, because this was just...
Yeah. So Nick, will you find that Bible verse?
Which one?
So Jesus and the disciples are walking through the field. It's a pair.
We have a minute. Okay. We have a minute to 2 minutes left.
I'll just talk. Not super prepared for that one. Sorry, y'all. So he was talking about his calendar, and he elaborated. He's like, another part of our intention is we have a Sabbath from 5 p.m. on Saturday to 5 p.m. on Sunday. And I said, well, sure. Like, what does that mean to you though?
Right. People have Sabbaths, like, whatever.
Right. Like you rest, you hang out, like you don't work. right?
Right.
It's the weekend.
Supposedly. Right. It's the weekend.
But he's like, no, we don't do laundry. We don't do cleaning in our house. We don't touch our work, like our work. We don't do anything that involves us other than just being with our family, being with God, and resting. And I'm like, he's like, it's a mad dash. At 4:50, we have people calling us to set up appointments, and we don't do it. Like, make sure all the laundry's folded and put away. Like, all of that has to be done before 5 p.m. on Saturday, because that's when they rest. And I said, he's like, we started implementing this because it really hit me when there's that they're walking through the field and his disciples are picking grain off, and the Pharisees go, why are you allowing your disciples to work? And Jesus says, the Sabbath, man was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man as a gift. It doesn't say that in the Bible, but that's how he phrased it to me, of like, God is giving you this to help you and benefit you because you need it.
You need time to recharge.
Not because he needs you to take that time for him. He's giving it to you so that you can benefit.
And here, see, just to reiterate this is no laundry, no cleaning, no work. Their team knows after 5 o'clock, I'm not answering my phone if it's work related.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not booking appointments.
Yep.
I'm not taking your 911.
You can get on my calendar.
You can get on my calendar. That's it. Right. So, Rosalie found it. Luke 6.
Thank you.
There we go.
You.
See, thank you, Rosalie. So they set that expectation.
Yep.
And now guess what? Their kids know. Their kids know this is family time. This is relax time.
Yep.
How much would your life, and now what this does still include, they do serve at the church, right?
Sure, yes.
That's
Yes,
like,
do.
they still
On
drive to
Sundays,
church.
still,
Exactly. Right. So they're involved, but what they're involved in is investing back into themselves. What they're involved in is serving and being at church, being in the house of the Lord, but they're resting because that's their rest. That's their recharge.
Again, it's all about the intention.
Right?
It's like, oh, I want to get this project done, or I want to do this on the weekend. Okay, you have until 5 p.m. on Saturday to get it done.
And then it's rest time.
Yep.
It's rest time. It's
And
family
it's
time.
And it's, sometimes we'll just hang out in the movie room and we'll just watch movies all evening or whatever. We'll take naps and we'll read books and we'll just play games. Like
you hear people say this, but how many of them live it?
Yeah.
So
with intention.
Right?
That's
Thank you, Rosalie.
Huge word in my life right now. Intention.
Right? Intention.
Discipline and intention.
Discipline.
Is that the same thing?
No, because you can be intentional about not being disciplined. I want that on a shirt. You can be intentional about not being disciplined. Are you ready? I'm going to add another word to that. Expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Because without those, you die.
That's a little drastic.
No, seriously. If you're not disciplined, you don't have intention, and you're not setting the expectation, right? Mm-hmm. The world is running you, and the world will run you right into the grave. Mm. You will miss out on life. You will die before you actually die, because the world will run you right into the grave.
Your spirit and your
there you
everything.
go.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you don't have those three things, you will die. Oh my goodness, I need that on a shirt. Dun. Right? That's my mic drop. I'm done.
Can we have that in quotes underneath?
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Absolutely, because it has to be funny somewhere, right? If it's not positive. But seriously, like, how many people say all this but don't do it? Amber, we're going to have a conversation. Like, we need this. Mm-hmm. We needed all of these 4 couples this week, not just for y'all as the audience, but I needed these 4 couples. Yeah. These 4 couples have impacted my life in a way that I hope one day I get to repay them with some kind of good words. Yeah. or some kind of praise, right? I mean, to look at my kids, to look at the people that God puts in my life and always see the best in them. To make sure that the people in my life, I've defined their roles. To make sure that I love on every one of them.
With intention.
With intention. And then to make sure that I bring structure to my household so my family can accelerate faster than it ever has before.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, where do you, what's the next step? The next step is to implement. The next step is implement. And to be disciplined. What was the E?
Expectation.
And make sure you set the expectation. I'm so proud of you. That was
totally
good.
out of brain fart for a second. I'm glad it came back.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you watch this episode and you're like, wow, that was so much, go watch their episodes. Go watch each and every one of them. You will pick golden nuggets up from each one of them. And here we go. You ready for this? Don't watch it just once. Save it. You can actually save videos on Facebook so you can very quickly go back and rewatch them. Okay? These couples, if you are at Elevate Life Church, connect with these couples. Okay? We were going to tag all of them in this video, so you can reach out to them. If you're looking for mentorship, hey, Wednesday nights, they're there. They're at Elevate Life. You can sit at their tables, okay?
If you get there fast enough.
And get there early. Get there, like, really, like, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm going to arrive on time. You know, Amber and I have made it an intention to get to church early because it's before service that the relationships are built, right? And we kind of like getting there early because we go to second service so we could see everyone that's leaving too, right? So, but you have to be intentional about this. I have so much, like my brain is going in 500 different directions right now, trying to piece this together. I'm excited for this new direction. I firmly believe that having this week happen at this point in time in my life was needed.
Yeah, God needs you to level up, Nick.
I know he does. I know he does. I have no doubt. Like, yes, we are on this morning show and I love all of you, but I have no doubt that one day I'm going to be on stage and one day there's going to be millions of viewers watching this. And before God is going to be able to bless me with leveling to that kind of level, he has to level me up. He has to level you up.
I know. I got work to do.
Right? So where are you currently in your life? Audience, I'm talking to you now. Where are you currently in your life that you're like, you want to know what? For me to level up, for me to get the next blessing, I need to level up.
And it's not I'm going to adjust your phrasing. It's
You can
you're not leveling up to get a blessing. You're leveling up to prepare for God's next so that you can be a blessing to other people.
Which in return is getting a blessing.
Sure. But it's
I like my terminology better.
And focus. What are you focused on?
I'm focused on leveling myself up.
So that you can receive or so that you can give?
To do both. Because I want to be the conduit. So yes, take what Lindsay has said, combine it with what I've said, and then you have the right direction. Okay? Because God's going to bless you so you can bless others.
Yes.
Become the conduit. Ooh, see, this is why you gotta have a co-host. Okay, this is why you don't do this yourself. All right,
because we call you out. No.
Oh, have you seen the comments? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
No, but this is why. Like, if you're watching this, you're like, I want to have my own morning show. Great, don't do it yourself. Have a co-host.
Yeah.
And if you're like Nick, yeah, I'm not ready to do a morning show, but I'm really nervous on camera. Come be a guest on our show. We had a lot of first timers this week.
We've had we've never had anybody come on our show and say, oh my gosh, this was worse than what I thought it was going to be, or this wasn't what I was expecting. It was better than what I was expecting. It was so easy. You guys made it so easy to not worry about the camera, to not worry about being live. It was just a conversation.
It was a conversation, and there's a lot of prep work that goes into this. There's a lot of post-production work that goes into this. But if you're like, hey, I want to do this, but I don't know where to start, come start with us. Come start with us. I'm actually Oh, never mind. We're not going to go down that road. So, big three. Big three. It's Friday. Hey, did you get your big three done yesterday? Are you going to get to go home early today? If not, because maybe you're like me, you had your priorities a little backwards. What can you do to get it done now? What can you do to get it done today? Get home and get to your family. Get home and get to those who want to love on you. If you're like, Nick, I'm the kids are out of school and I don't feel the love. You want to know what? Call them up real quick and say, hey, listen, I'm coming home early. We're going on a date. It's Friday. Go to the movie theater early.
Inside date because it's cold outside.
Well, yeah, inside date, right? But think about this. What a difference it would be if you took your kids to the movie theater today. What difference would it be if you took your kids to Topgolf?
Oh, Rosalie, thank you. You are the sweetest.
Oh my goodness.
So sweet.
Right?
Thanks for the love.
The
that
love
just made my day.
And I cannot wait to eat her cooking. Right?
Amen.
She's
yes and amen.
Right?
Is that one of our promises?
There you go. But what can you do? And maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a dating person, or maybe you're in a relationship and you're courting someone, or maybe you have a spouse. Leave early. Leave early and go. Spend some quality time with them.
Be intentional.
Be intentional. Okay? I will try to get all of these notes into a document to share, mostly because, I'm going to need to get their permission on all this, because this is not, is it my content? Yes. Was it on my show? Yes. Out of respect for them, I want to make sure I have their blessings on what my takeaway what is on this before I distribute it. Because that is me showing them honor.
Right.
Okay? So, total tangent.
We already
Get
did
your big
that.
three done. Get your big three done. Go home. Spend time with your family. Hey, you want to know what? Monday's a holiday. Are you going to take off Monday? Spend more time with your family. Do it. Okay? Above all.
We will not be live on
yes. Just
Monday.
FYI, Monday, no show. No
Because
show
of-
Monday.
Yes. Federal
no show
holiday,
Monday.
no show.
No show Monday. That's
So
a horrible.
rewatch-
That's going to hurt my heart.
Rewatch one of our old episodes
Right?
if you're missing us on Monday. It's okay. We'll be
We
back
need a
on
babysitter
Tuesday.
for Angelina. Rosalie, you're cracking me up.
OMG.
Oh, right. Oh, goodness. That house must just be entertaining at all times.
All the time.
Right. So, hey, bring your greatness today. Bring your positive. Okay. Hopefully, if you're like, Nick, I just don't know what to watch, go watch these episodes. Go watch this week's episodes. You'll get great things from it. Go rewatch this episode. Okay. I summarized a lot of it for you. We summarized a lot of it
We
for
did.
you. Okay. And I want you to bring your greatness today. Bring your positive. Make sure that you
Rides up.
crush it.
Bye, y'all.
y'all.